Hey guys. Oh, I was trying to get comfortable. I'm going to read a few pages of this to show you what it sounds like. And this is talking about Esau and Jacob, and it's a very interesting part of the story. And so what I have done is, this is in Genesis 26, and it starts about on the 26th chapter and the 5th verse. And it's actually the beginning of the whole business that because it's just very, very interesting to read this backwards, and I just wanted to give it a test to see what you thought about it, but instead of going, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right now it'll go like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're into Genesis chapter 25, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30. So it has to be backing up, and just listen to the story and see how this works. Because I found it pretty neat, and how the numbers all work together on the side. Doesn't mean that it wouldn't have been 7 on the other side and have the same meaning, without the idea of just the way that the whole Bible, or some of these things that I have found so far, reading from right to left, still portraying that little bit of a Hebrew business where you have to understand how to decipher code, especially when it was made like this. This is the spirit of the text that they're talking of. And to hear their riddles of their sayings, and to find out, and this is a really interesting discovery, and this is what it sounds like. And I want to do you with this one story, and I don't know how many people here even are familiar with the Bible. But, you could read the top side of it, and it'll be between this, and I'll tell you where the end of it is when I get to it. But it starts off like this. It says, because at Abram, obeying my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my status, my statutes, and my laws, and I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and I will give to thee thy seed all these countries. All in thy seed shall all thy nations of the earth be blessed. Sojourn in the land, sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and I will bless thee, and for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform my oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And the Lord appeared unto him, and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell of thee. And there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage, and lentils, and he did eat and drink. And he rose up, and he went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. And Jacob said, Swear to me this day, and this I swear to him. And he said, His birthright is unto Jacob. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Sell me this day this birthright. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I'm faint. Therefore was his name Edom. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in the field. And after that came his brothers out. Something, it's interesting. And his brother came out. So what would say, and after that, came his brother out. And his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Jacob was 80 years old when she bare them. and Isaac was 67 years when she bare them. And the firstborn came out red, all over, like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. And when her days to be fulfilled, or to be delivered, were fulfilled, behold, there were twins. Didn't you hear that? Behold, there were twins. They said, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one shall be stronger than the other peoples, and the elder shall serve the younger. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I this? And thus she went to inquire of the Lord. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife. Entreated means, you have to go in. Isaac has to do all of this for his wife. Because, he's still connected to God. In order to do things, he has to go for her. So it's being entreated for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And Isaac was 40 years when he took Rebekah to wife. His daughter of Bethel, the Syrian, and Pandaraman, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham's begot Isaac. Abraham begot Isaac. So Isaac is his first son. All right. He gets the greatest in Assyria, and dwelt from Havilah unto Shur. This is before Egypt, as there goest toward Assyria. So they're going further south. And he died in the presence of all his brethren. Remember, your brethren is your skin. And these are the years in the lives of Ishmael, 137 years, and he gave up the ghost and died when he was gathered unto his people. And in the generations of Ishmael. I'm skipping over all of those because it's, there's another story in there, and I haven't done that yet. But that's the backstory. But so far, this was the birth of those 2. All right? And later on, they're going to be talking about going by the well. It's just an interesting story that shows how she was granted a birth, but then they said 2 and 2 nations, and one was red. Now remember, Adam is the red earth, so that's us. That's us. It's like the one that doesn't, if you don't catch on, that's the bloody us. That we're the ones that are going to be this sacrifice, and that they would struggle, and they struggled within her. It's just interesting, and he has to go in and get all this stuff for her. This is the way it works, is that, we are in charge of her. But if you didn't know anything about her, you wouldn't understand how important she was. She's very much important in all of these. She's sitting by the well. If you can't get to that well, and you know that the man keeps this other side away, you'll never get there. It's just really, really wonderful. And I think and and it came to pass. It's like this is where they should start and stop things. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well La. And this is a field which Abraham purchased of the sons of Heth. There was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. And the sons of Isaac and Ishmael buried him in a cave. And this is in Malakesh, or Mala something another, in the field of Ephron, and the son of Zorah, in a Hittite, which is before Mamre. Then Abraham gave up the ghost, and then died, and in good old age, and an old man, and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And these are the days and the generations of Abraham, life which he lived, an 160 years. But unto the son of the concubine, which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away away from Isaac, his son, while he yet lived. He sent them eastward unto the east country. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. And then there's this business about the Isaac. Then Abraham took a wife and called her name Keturah. And Isaac brought to her into his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. For she had unto the servant for she said unto the servant, What a man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, It's my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. And Rebekah lifted her eyes, and when she saw it was Isaac, she lighted off the camel. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field after eventide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Isaac came from the way of the well, Lahor, the name of the well, for he dwelt in the south country. And Rebekah arose, and her damsels in the road rode upon the camels, and followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah, and went his way. And they blessed Rebekah, did say unto her, Thou art our sister, be thou their mother, and be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let the seed possess the gate of those which hate them. And they sent away Rebekah and the sisters, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant, and his men. And they called Rebekah, and said unto her, Wilt thou go with the man? And she said, I will go. And they said, We'll call the damsel and inquire at his mouth. And he said unto them, Hinder me not, seeing the Lord hath prospered my way. Send me away, that I may go to my master. And her brother and her mother said, and the damsel abide with her a few days. Yeah, he says, let the damsel abide with her a few days, at least 10. After that, she'll go. She shall go. And they did eat and drink, and the men and the men were with him. They were fed and tarried all night, and then rose up in the morning. And he said, send me away unto my master. And the servant brought forth the jewels of silver and jewels of gold and remnant, and gave them to Rebekah. He gave all also to her brother, and also to her mother's precious things. And it came to pass that Abraham's servant heard their words, and he worshipped the Lord, bowing himself to the earth. All right, there's a whole nother story. This is, and it came to pass. This is in between. I don't know if I want to go any further with you on this. Mother is the most important thing. This is telling you how important she is, and she represents the spirit side. She also represents our soul in repose. But she doesn't seem to mind to be trapped. She doesn't mind being that hoe, you know. But you'll find that you're not supposed to take Nahor's wife. And that's the whole, I bet that was a joke a long time ago, because it's phonetic, you know, it's something that, you know, maybe that's what it meant, because, you know, that's his brother. You don't take your brother's wife. And it's only talking about that because of being lower. Now I want to show you that entire story was contracted. The entire story was built by put a word here, put a word there that means something. Even within the sentence itself, it had a 7 or a 3 or a 4 situation going on, and going up the ladder or coming down the ladder, the numbers were it's just the coolest stuff, having everything to do with what that paragraph had to say. This is mechanical in some ways. It's just absolutely the way you would think God would write. If he's going to be writing us in spirit, it's got to be smart. Because look at the idiots the top comes up with, you know. Look at this girl. I'm still having trouble. Well, not trouble, but she just can't see, you know. And it's like, you know, I do feel for her. How come it is that it seems just so easy, you know? But chime in. Am I the only one that can see it? You know, am I the one? Didn't that sound pretty how it flowed all together? Now listen, that was a whole mess of writings, and it told a whole nother story. And I want to hear what you think about that. You know, those that actually care. Do you know anything about the Bible? You know, it's okay if you don't, because, you know, I'm just learning. Really, I've been skimming off the top, tell them whatever, ribbit. You know, I've never gone so deep in stuff like this. But anyways, it's just really, really, really cool. Just really cool. Plus, you know, you understand it started off with Abraham, you know, and he's in all the other stories, it starts off without. He doesn't have that breath of God, which is that H, that aspiration. There's him and Sarai. When they're just showing you that when you're on this one side, that's the new you know, and that's how they changed the names for these guys, you know, and later on, look, Jacob has already come out as being someone else, and he's going to wind up producing the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And all of the men are going to be coming from the bondsmaid, because his wife is also, you know, kind of stoved up, you know. God has to come and unclog her, and he comes up with a couple of more, I think, but I think what you get out of that is Dinah. So you get the virgin part of this business. But, you know, they do so much, to hide her. You know, when they painted her in the Last Supper, there is a woman in that painting, you know. And I tell you, those guys, they knew what was going on back then. I don't know if they were ignorant to it, but, you know, those paintings up there, you know, this one here that has, you know, God coming out and creating Adam, he's inside a brain. God poking his hand through the, this is God. This is what's making everything. So it's just really wonderful. It's all in my world of pictures, drawing and taking and puzzle putting together. It's all fitting together really good. I can't go into this mushiness as saying it was real. If I did, it almost is like, it's like throwing up. It's just why. What helps me is that I know, and this tells me, the Bible tells me this. And I thought it wasn't supposed to take a lot of smarts, but people can figure out Rubik's cubes and stuff like this. How about asking some kids in school, hey, let's try reading our Bibles backwards and see what happens. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the whole things of the Noah stories, or the Noah stories, the books of Moses. I'm going to rewrite them the right way, and I'm going to make millions of them, and I'm just going to go and give them away to all the different churches around here. Just give them away. Hey, check them out. Hey, check this out. Can't hurt. Maybe to the schools where the little kids are and stuff like that. It's just interesting stuff. Or give them the little thing, show them how to do it. I'll leave a little, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and how to look for it in there, and this is what you do, and go to town. Let these kids grow up with a little more smarts to them. They don't have to learn that, that there's a God out there that wants to kill them, that there's a devil out there that wants to eat them. What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that? Well, it's the kind of shit you get when you read your Bibles backwards. Let that beast loose. All right, you guys. Well, that was pretty neat. Let me know. I love you. Take care. And that's about as much of the truth as I know.